the Skull Crushers!
Kick the red, double move on the red.
Everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank goodness it is Friday. I love Fridays. I love football Fridays. We are a couple days away from the Eagles Minnesota Vikings game. I cannot wait. It's going to be fun, man. This is a big game for the Eagles. This is a big game, in my opinion, because it's the start of a 3-game road trip. You got Dallas after this, and if you can win this game and go in against Dallas at 4-2, I really think, I really like our chances. This game is not going to be easy. It's a tough game. I know Minnesota Vikings have struggled and been up and down during the year, but you can bet on one thing. They are going to be up for this game. They are going to be up for this game, no doubt about it. So the Eagles, they're going to have to be at their best. They're going to have to be at their best, and the guys I'm counting on this week are my stars. Carson Wentz, Fletcher Cox. They got to get it done. Now, let's talk about this game on Sunday. Eagles versus Vikings, both 3-2 in Minnesota. You know the Vikings have this game marked on their schedule, especially the Minnesota Viking fans who have not gotten over the fact that we destroyed them in the 2017 NFC Championship game. You all know what happened. We all know the story. We all know how they desecrated the Rocky statue, the art museum. They were marching the streets. They were just acting like, hey, we're going to win and we're taking over your city, which is never going to go over good in Philly. Okay? But I'm not trying to get back into that whole thing. What I'm trying to say is this. They blame Eagles and Eagle fans, but the truth is, they're using us as a scapegoat. They're using us as a scapegoat for that loss. And they're never going to get over that loss, because the truth of the matter is this. Here's why the Viking fans are really pissed. They're not really pissed at what some Eagle fans did. They're not really pissed at that. They're really pissed off because they thought they deserved to go to the Super Bowl. They thought, hey, Super Bowl's in Minnesota. We deserve it. They thought it was just going to be given to them. They thought it was their destiny. Don't forget, Stephon Diggs catches that miracle touchdown pass at the end of the game. He walks in, and they're thinking, this is destiny. We're going to go. It has to be. Did you see this play? It's a miracle play. We're going. And all week leading up to that game, they acted like, we're going. It's our destiny. We're going. Too bad, Philly. It's just too bad. It's our time. It's our destiny. And they had that attitude all week. And what happened? They got knocked out. They couldn't get back up, and the Eagles destroyed them. That's what happened, okay? And they're pissed off about that, but they blame us. We're the scapegoat. The truth is, they should be mad at themselves for acting like they're going to be given something for nothing. And that's why I believe they're really pissed off. But they'll never admit that, okay? So you know they're going to be pumped. You know it's going to be loud. You know us coming back in there is going to, basically, they're going to want to get revenge on us. That's how I look at it, okay? Even though they beat us last year, it was in Philly. They won it in Minnesota. They want revenge. The last time we were there, we won a Super Bowl, which also hurts them and bothers them that we beat them to go back to Minnesota to beat them in a Super Bowl. So they have a lot of reasons to hate us, I guess. Who cares? I don't care that they hate us. When I look at this game, I feel kind of good about this game. I'm feeling really good going into this game. I feel very confident. And when you look at the Minnesota Vikings offense, right? You look at the offense, you got to think of Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook perhaps right now is the best running back in football. He's playing like it. And I think they're averaging like 166 yards per game. They're really focusing on the run, trying to take the pressure off Kirk Cousins. And this is kind of been their MO. Now, I think the Eagles match up really well against the Minnesota Vikings run offense. Minnesota doesn't have the best offensive line. I think, especially in their interior, I think Fletcher Cox is going to have a breakout game. The game we've been waiting for all year, I think it comes this week for Fletcher Cox. I think he's going to have a big week. He is going to manhandle that Minnesota Vikings offensive line. And to me, the whole key to this game is if you get pressure on Kirk Cousins. Here we go again. That was weird. That door just slammed. Did you see that? We got the double moonwalk, some ghost ass. Anyways, I think that if the Eagles' defensive line gets pressure, I think this is going to be an easy game. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think if they pressure Kirk Cousins, they knock him around, he gets off of his game, and it's over. And I like the Eagles' matchup against the Minnesota run offense. I think we have the best run defense. They're, like I said, they're like 166 yards per game. I think we'll do a good enough job against Dalvin Cook, and it's going to force Kirk Cousins to have to make passes. Now, what scares me about the Minnesota Vikings is if they come out and they use a lot of play action and they basically come out throwing the ball. If they come out throwing the ball to Thielen, Stephon Diggs, it could give us problems. It definitely could, because we're going to be biting on those play action fakes with the run, and you know how our secondary has been. My hope is that Mike Zimmer is stubborn. That he's stubborn, he's set in his ways, and he's going to run the ball like he's done all year, and that's how he's going to try to go. And if he does that, it'll play right into the Eagles' hands, because I think the defensive line and that defense can stop the run. We do a great job against the run. It's going to be the pass that I worry about more than anything. Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph, whoever it is, we haven't been able to cover. Okay, now I think they're saying Sidney Jones might play, or at least in a backup role. Whatever. I got to see more. The best cornerback for us this year has been Rasul Douglas, but I think the matchup is, and the key to this game is the defensive line versus Minnesota's offensive line. If we get pressure on Kirk Cousins and we bother him and stop the run, it's going to be a long day for Minnesota. And I'm going to say, I think Fletcher Cox is going to have a breakout game. I think he's going to have a huge game, and so is that defensive line. I think having that game last week where they got 10 sacks, even though it was against a stinky Jets team, I think that gives the Eagles a lot of confidence, kind of takes the pressure of having to answer questions all week of where your sacks at, that kind of thing. And I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to play really, really good. So I expect Minnesota, if they're smart, to come out throwing, to use a lot of play action, to try to go down the field, try to pick on our secondary, okay? If Mike Zimmer's very stubborn, which I'm hoping and think he is, I think he's going to try to continue to run the ball first as first priority, and it's going to basically not be good, because we got the best run defense in the NFL. I think Fletcher Cox is going to come to play, and I think that would be bad for the Vikings. Now, as far as our offense goes, I think we can move the ball on the Minnesota defense. Okay, I think they have a good defensive line. They have Xavier Rhodes. They have some good corners. They have some good players on defense. They're a good defense. But I think you can move the ball on them, okay? And I think that if the Eagles come out and they use Jordan Howard and they try to run the ball, especially early, like they were against the Green Bay Packers, I think they'll be able to have success. I think they'll be able to move the ball. And I think if they can do that, the next thing that they're going to have to do, in my opinion, is not only you have to run the ball well, but you have to try to stretch the field. You have to go downfield. You have to go long. You have to go long several times, because what's going to happen, and it happened in the Jets game, the safeties are cheating up. Everybody's cheating up, daring the Eagles to go long. They're daring them. And that's why everybody seems like they're not open. Carson's always throwing into tight windows, because everything that we're running is short to mid-range. And defenses, they pick up on this, okay? And what they do is they don't worry about, 20, 25 yards downfield and over. They dare you to throw it. And the only way you're going to get those safeties and stuff to back off is that you have to run the ball effectively, then you have to use play action, you have to throw the ball downfield. I want to see vertical game. I don't care if it's Hollins, I don't care if it's Aguilar or Nelson, I don't care if it's Alshon, I don't care who it is. The point is you have to take shots downfield. You have to make Minnesota respect that you can go anywhere on the field. And once you do that, you'll see the safeties start to back off. And you'll see that short to mid-range open up a little bit. And then the Eagles will have some opportunities. But like in the Jets game, I think one of the biggest problems was the Eagles' inability to even attempt to go vertical, even attempt to go long. Ever since Deshaun Jackson has not been in, they haven't even attempted. And defenses are picking up on it. And the Jets did big time. This was also a problem last year. And in 2017, even though Torrey Smith was towards the end of his career, he still was fast enough that he commanded enough respect from defenses that they didn't cheat up as much. But last year they did it. Now they're starting to do it again. And the best way to get through it and the best way to get by it is you got to be able to stretch the field. You got to go vertical. So I want to see the Eagles run, use Howard, use Sanders, use those running backs in a lot of the same ways they did against Green Bay. But I want to see more play action. I want to see more shots downfield. I don't care if you go 0 for 5, 1 for 5, over 25, 30 yards downfield. Do it a couple times, and that defense will back up, and it will loosen everything up. And if the Eagles do that, I think they're going to win the game. Okay? Because I'm not even concerned about getting the 80-yard touchdown pass. I'm more concerned about forcing a defense to be honest and play us honest. The Jets did not. They were cheating up the whole game, and I think that was a bad thing. So that's what I look for from Carson and this offense. And I think Carson's going to have a big game. I think you're going to see a big game from Carson. I think he's going to have 3 touchdowns, and I think that the Eagles, I think this is the week of Carson Wentz and Fletcher Cox. The 2 stars, the 2 leaders are going to rise up this week and play. And I got the Eagles winning this game, 27-24, taking them to 4-2. And, hey, once again, we will be disappointing the Minnesota Vikings fans. That's my kind of take on the game. I think the number one priority in this game, as I said, is the pass rush of the Eagles versus that offensive line. They gotta get to Kirk Cousins. If they do that, you'll force him into mistakes. If you let him get comfortable with Thielen and Diggs, he's going to kill us, okay? I think we'll do okay against the run. Dalvin Cook is a great running back. So those are my thoughts on the game. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.